Let's discuss why the 2021 Ford F-150 XLT might not be the truck for you. First things first, let's talk about what they're calling the 2021 model year. They're calling it a redesign. And for me, yes, it's a redesign, but I call it a redesign in marketing terms only because it looks like a traditional Ford F-150. As a best-selling truck, the Ford F-150 lineup obviously does not really need a redesign to sell, but still, that is what you're hearing about the 2021 model year. While it's true that many of the parts that you will find on this vehicle are brand new, the overall look is still quintessential Ford F-150. Now, to many people, that's a pro, but still, the word redesign is a sly way for marketers to sink a hook and reel in some new fish and some old fish, get people to turn in vehicles that are perfectly fine right now and upgrade to a new one, right? If the word redesign is a deciding factor in purchasing the 2021 Ford F-150 XLT, then I might recommend taking a step back for a couple weeks and let your decision sink in. It might be a better idea to purchase a used F-150 as these new, quote, redesigns keep flying off the shelf, right? So keep in mind the word redesign doesn't always necessarily mean what your brain tells you it means. Definitely, they've made some changes to the truck. Definitely, a lot of positive things have come into the redesign. However, most people think redesign and they think aesthetically something significantly has changed. And there are some aesthetic things that have changed. However, they aren't all that significant in my opinion. So, now also a big frustration that I have about the entire lineup of the Ford F-150s is the lack of safety technology that begins from the base level XL on up. Now, the XL, the trim that's directly below the XLT, is virtually devoid of any safety technology. Now, while the XLT incorporates some features such as lane keep assist, reverse sensing systems, cross traffic alert, I feel like the Ford F-150 XLT should incorporate far more safety feature standard. I mean, it's a safe truck, right? We're calling it a safe truck in general. I'm not saying it's not safe. However, the technology exists. It's out there. I'm simply saying that the safety technology should be incorporated as much as possible and not used as an upgrade arm wrench to convince people to option out or trim level up. Now, is that ever going to change? You can say that about pretty much every truck, every vehicle on the road. They use certain things like not putting blind spot monitoring in a trim to get you to go up into another trim or get you to option up. Now, I think that that's just wrong. If you have the safety technology, I think it should be in the vehicle as a standard. Now, third, let's consider whether or not the jump up from the XL to the XLT is really worth a $7,000 MSRP jump, because that's what it amounts to. In my opinion, not really, unless you're very particular. So from an aesthetic perspective, you will get some chrome upgrades to the bumpers and the grille on the XLT. You will get heat and power adjust to your mirrors. You'll get a few safety technology upgrades, which we already covered aren't enough in my opinion. However, is that enough to merit a big dent to your wallet? Let's not forget that you're probably going to option up quite a few parts of the Ford F-150 XLT, and that $35,000 price tag will only increase. Let's face it, plenty of people will be swayed by the chrome and a bit more shine, but quite a few of the additional standard features are things that you will only use occasionally. The XLT to me is still a basic work truck with a little extra bling. And if I'm buying a work truck, then I really have to strongly consider whether or not the XL is a better route to go in the first place. So consider that when you're also considering your XLT. Once you option out of the XLT, you are quickly approaching Lariat territory, which is the next step up from the XLT. Simply adding the Super Crew cab will add about $6,500 to your price tag. In addition, the Lariat trim is where many of the usable standard editions come into play, and at that point, does it make sense to jump to a higher trim? That's quite possible, especially if you want more options included in your truck. Now, lastly, let's talk about the base engine for the XLT. It happens to be the 3.3 liter V6 with 290 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. Now, that should be enough power for most situations. However, if you tend to haul or pull a trailer on a regular basis, say for work, then the 3.3 liter can really become a bummer. It can definitely lag behind the other engine options. Now, the 265 pound-feet of torque that it creates will occasionally get the job done, but if you intend to test it on the regular, then you might get frustrated with that lethargic performance. As such, the XLT might not be the truck for you. Sure, you have the ability to order the truck with an engine, with any of the engines from the full lineup, right? However, if you are purchasing the truck because of the affordability of the XLT, then upgrading the engine out of necessity can certainly push the price tag closer to a higher trim like the Lariat. It comes standard, while the Lariat does, with the twin turbocharged 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6. That one sports 325 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. So keep in mind, with this trim, the XLT, you're still getting the base engine, which is okay. But do you need more? And as a result of that, do you need a different truck than the 2021 Ford F-150 XLT? Find out for yourself.